The following is a Journey into Comics Network production.
Hey guys,
Veronica,
Andrew,
and Nate here. We are
Foodies Watching Movies.
A podcast dedicated to
Awesome movies.
Great food.
and that's about it.
Check us out on the JIC network at www.journeyintocomics.com.
Maybe throw some money over to our Patreon.
So we can eat this week.
And now, your feature presentation.
Warning, Podcastrophe imminent. Join me, Dick, on a podcast about music, movies, television, all with a taste of metal. This is Podcastrophe.
Hello, everybody. Dick here with another episode of Podcastrophe. Today is episode 3, and I am joined here today. You've met him before. He is the brewer of brews, the Yee'r of Yees, frontman of bands, overlord of doom. He is Nick Maxon.
What an introduction.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the last episode was the Game of Thrones episode,
Right.
and we are giant Game of Thrones fans. So I'm like sitting here like, man, I should give him like a fucking Daenerys Targaryen intro.
That was pretty good.
I was thinking about it like right before I left, and I had to write everything down. I was like, oh man,
The Yee'r of Yees.
the Yee'r of
You
Yees.
said that so well.
It was not rehearsed, believe it or not. Oh, but yeah, so we're on episode 3, and I had to do a bit of time traveling this last Sunday. Like, we're recording episode 3 today, but Sunday I recorded episode 4
All right.
in the future.
Interesting.
In the future, but in the past. It's weird. It's weird. It's great.
It's about as confusing as those X-Men movies.
Oh, yeah. It's about as confusing as a Flash series. What timeline is he gonna fuck up this week? But yeah, so the podcast, this Podcastrophe, the intro says music, movies, television, all with a taste of metal. And we haven't really discussed metal yet. And and that's one of the bigger things in my life, my passions, things that keeps me going throughout my days. And I've always really enjoyed the metal conversation with you, Nick.
We always seem to have a lot to say about all sorts of things.
Yes. In fact, like when this friendship first blossomed, that's all we would do is sit at the mall. You were at work, I was just passing by, and we would just sit and talk about music and bullshit.
And that was that me working at the Gold Stand?
Yes. Whose name
So
shall not be mentioned.
No, we will not. That was right across from the Hot Topic, so we always had plenty of things to
Yes.
just start the joke about.
I remember one time, so I had bought an acid washed vest there, and one, and then so one day I go there, and I walk out of Hot Topic, and I immediately text you. I'm like, Nick, I bought something. And you go, was it another acid washed vest? And I said, yes, I bought another one. This one's red.
Yeah, what happened to that thing?
I still have both of them.
You gotta wear it more often.
I've thought about it. It just never seems to go with what I'm already planning on wearing, or it's just
bring
too
it
hot.
back.
I should.
Bring it
And
back.
like the original acid wash vest, like it became more legit because are they from Massachusetts? Set.
Yeah.
The Massachusetts band Set, they came here to the Doom Room, and they had like little stencils of their band logo name, and they would just spray paint at places.
Yeah.
And
There's
so
a
I was
couple
like,
on the walls.
yeah, we got it on the wall. They have it on the wall in the basement downstairs, and so I was like, hey, spray paint your band name on my vest, and So since then, the Acid Wash Fest is no longer as ridiculed.
Yeah, I definitely gave it some legitimacy.
I get a little cred.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so many fucking memories in this house. Like we are recording from the fabled and famed Doom Room of Lafayette, Indiana.
Yeah, we could probably get a whole episode off just talking about the things in the room right here.
Oh yeah. There's a lot.
We'll
of
start with the Game of Thrones poster. Here we go.
Yes. Oh. Wait, are we really?
No.
Oh.
Episode 2 and 3
Episode
got totally sidelined.
Yep.
Became total Game of Thrones episode.
It's gonna happen. I mean, we've discussed behind the scenes for Journey into Comics doing a just a theories episode.
Ooh.
Like, we talked a little bit this last week on Journey into Comics episode 56, I think, it's either 56 or 57, titled Attack of the Yawns.
I saw that.
We went into a little theory. I was passing out, and I think 25 minutes in, you can literally hear me snore, and everybody starts laughing, and I wake up. It was 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. We'd been going all day.
Wow.
And we just got back from Nate's band, Walk Among Us, playing up in Highland, and I was just done. I was done. Like I was listening to it, and just to catch all the stuff I missed while I was sleeping, while on the show, and like every now and then you can hear the mic
Your head
hit my face at some point, and I'm doing it right now to illustrate that. It was a fun weekend, though. It was a really fun weekend.
It sounded
full
of an adventure.
It was, and that weekend it started here in Lafayette. Went out to the bars Friday night, and then I just happened to run into Nick here.
Oh yeah, it wasn't unintended.
It was, and that night was just so full of fun. I got to bring a bunch of my work friends into the fold of my outside of work friends, and we just all had a really good time.
Yeah, one of the guys you work with, I went to school with, and hadn't seen him in 8 years.
Mm-hmm. Tyler.
Yeah, that was cool.
Oh yeah, I've quickly grown to love that dude. He's such a fun dude to work with and be around. We get along.
Yeah, he's just as funny as ever.
Yep. All right, but today we are here to talk about metal.
Metal.
So, what would you like to talk about? What kind of stuff would you like to discuss in the world of metal?
Well, I think we should first talk about what's going on with your bands right now.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
How are those going?
My bands?
Yeah, your band.
Well, my most recent main band, which was eventually going... Let me talk about this band. So, my friend Malika, she has a boyfriend. His name is David. And at some point, he added me on Snapchat and Facebook and just started talking to me. And it's been about a year or so since all that. And around May or so this year, it was May, he sent me something of him playing an acoustic or something or another. And just started, and I was like, hey, that's really fucking good. I was like, are you in a band? He's like, yeah, I was, but I moved down to Florida, and so that hasn't been a thing, but we're planning on moving back. And I was like, oh, right on. He's like, yeah, I'm really excited to get back with the band and get jamming again, because I love playing, I love metal, and I think we have awesome shit. And I was like, oh, right on. I was like, what do you guys like? He's like, oh, we're kind of like Lamb of God. We got a lot of influences. And so I was like, right on. That's right up my alley.
Right.
I was like, what's your vocalist like? He's like, we don't really have one. Our drummer's doing the main vocals. I was like, really? You don't have a vocalist? And by this point, I had already committed to not being in bands. So then that itch kind of just got back in my system. And so I couldn't help but just be like, well, I mean, when you come back, if I'm ready when you happen to move back, if I'm ready, I'll try to do vocals for you. I'll see what you guys got. And that quickly turned into like I think 2 or 3 weeks later, I was over at the drummer's house jamming some shit before David even got back, and it was badass stuff. It was truly badass original metal by the likes Lafayette probably hasn't heard.
Wow.
Like I mean,
bold.
it was very. Each song had its influence, and you could tell where those influences came from. Like they literally said, "Oh, this is our As I Lay Dying song. Oh, this is our Cannibal Corpse song. Oh, this is our Infant Annihilator song."
And it all made sense.
Oh, this is our Amon Amarth song. Like they had all of this. They did have their own little spins on it and stuff, but like you could clearly hear the influence, and that was cool. I like all of those bands.
Hell yeah, me too.
I like all of those bands, and I could get down on that. Throw my own dick spin on it.
Wow. Okay. Let me spin.
Let me spin this dick on here.
Let me pivot the conversation real quick then.
Yeah.
You brought up As I Lay Dying.
Yeah.
So What are your thoughts on that Mr. Tim Lambesis is going to try and resurrect the band with totally different members?
I'm okay with it, cause
As I Lay Dying.
Yeah.
With just one person who is the vocalist.
He is As I Lay Dying. He has been since the beginning. Him and Jordan, the drummer, started As I Lay Dying.
Oh, so he writes the riffs and stuff?
Yeah, he did.
Oh.
He spent a majority of As I Lay Dying's career writing most of the music, from what I understand.
Okay.
Could that
we'll have to fact check that. Maybe
you
we'll
might
do an
have
update
to. I mean, this is.
I'm not totally sure.
I don't think Tim claims that up until their last and possibly final album, Awakened, he did a majority of the music writing, and it wasn't until Awakened that their bass player, I think the bass player had been in the band for 2 or 3 albums by that point. He does all the clean vocals, but he started writing more for Awakened, and but yeah, he did a majority of the writing. So between him and Jordan, they're the only 2 members of the band that own the name, that have any claim to the name.
The name is one thing; it's who's making the musical contributions.
Yeah,
and I guess to me, it's who are the big players, the guitarist, the vocalist.
Yes,
they form a lot of what makes a band easily distinguishable.
Mm-hmm.
I could see where he would do it because he's the vocalist, but
you've heard Austrian Death Machine, right?
Yeah,
he writes all of that.
Okay,
and you can hear the As I Lay Dying in it, can you?
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Have you listened to Woven War?
Yes.
Does it sound like As I Lay Dying?
It sounds like Awakened As I Lay Dying, which makes sense because the bass player.
Well,
it's just As I Lay Dying without Tim.
All right, so I think we're gonna give this one the Nick and Dick stamp of approval. Tim Lambesis, you have our go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. He was probably in a weird fucking place when he did all that bullshit.
Oh, I'm not giving him a pass on that per se.
Oh yeah,
but
I'm not either. But
if he truly, earnestly, has rehabilitated himself, then bravo, and we'll call it a day.
Sometimes I look past all the personal bullshit and I'm just like, you know what? I like the music. I don't care what's behind it, really. Sometimes. Yeah. That's one of those cases where I like the music enough that I'm like, whatever. Tim, go try to kill your wife and fail.
Wow.
Fail. I said fail.
I mean, if he does it again, I might have to be...
Yeah, you're right.
A little more hard
You're completely right.
Dude, come on.
Yeah.
Get it together.
It's like, you tried.
At least get away with it.
Whoa. But yeah, As I Lay Dying, I was really bummed to see all that happen because when all that went down, it was right before they were getting ready to go on tour with Killswitch Engage and I think Miss May I.
Is Miss May I still making music?
Yeah.
Is it good?
I don't know.
I don't remember particularly liking him in the beginning.
It was either Miss May I or Memphis May Fire. I get the two mixed up sometimes. All that metalcore.
There's lots of it.
All that metalcore.
I used to love me some metalcore.
Oh, me too. I still do, but like I tend to stick to like the godfathers of metalcore, like As I Lay Dying, Killswitch, All That Remains, Shadows Fall. Those bands which, I mean, they might not have been the pioneers of it, but they definitely made it popular.
I just found out today that Phil Labonte was the original vocalist
Shadows
for
Fall.
Shadows Fall.
Him and Brian Fair were not big fans of each other after all that went
I
down.
bet not.
No. We met Brian Fair.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we saw Shadows Fall up in Kokomo.
Yep.
And I thought that was so great because we're chilling there all night before the show starts, and Brian Fair is just sitting at the bar, and we didn't even know it because he had his dreads all up in a hat, his like 9-foot dreads.
Yeah.
He had him in a hat, and he's just chilling at the bar, hanging out, not really talking to anybody. Nobody talking to him.
Didn't realize it was him until he walked on stage and took the hat off.
Yeah, and then of course, directly after that set, he steps off the stage and immediately comes over to me and you.
Yeah.
And just starts shooting
guys.
the shit. Not even any like, oh, I just played a show, whatever.
Right.
I'm just in this giant metalcore band that is about to shut down in another month or two. Mm-hmm. It was like 2 or 3 months after we saw that show, and they're like, hey, we're done for a while.
That's perfect timing.
I was like, wow. Yeah.
We saw a couple cool bands there.
Mm-hmm.
We did the August Burns Red Contortionist.
Yes, which I think I've told that story.
Oh, man.
Of the autograph story.
You did? Good.
I think I told that on one of the Metalcast where I met the singer of August Burns Red, and then I didn't want to bug him. I got my picture, met him, didn't want to bug him anymore, so I left. And then I went to the merch, got their CD, I paid for like the limited edition, like 10 set of their CD Leveler, and Nick's in line. So I was like, hey, can you have him sign this for me? I don't want to go through and bug him again. I feel like that's weird. Sure, I'll do it. And I remember you finally getting up there, hey man, can you sign this? You go, sure, who do I make it out to? And you just give me this look. And you just looked like, sorry, dude. you say, it's Nick. And you just looked at, you came up to me and you're like, dude, I'll go in and buy you another one and you can go through if you want. I said no, and I took it right out of your fucking hands. I said, this is mine. I will have a signed copy of this CD made out to you, and it will be a story forever.
Right.
Oh shit.
Testament.
Yes.
To my weak will. Because I didn't want to get back in line either.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
I was like, well.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I've never even listened to that CD.
You too burned from the situation?
No, it's not one of my favorite CDs. I think I've listened to it. It's come through on shuffle a few times, but like there's nothing on it that really makes me attached to it. I really like.
I think I remember liking Leveler.
I like Constellations.
Oh yeah,
Constellations was good, but I'm really a big fan of Messengers. Their first big CD.
Really my favorite.
And then what was it called? Restore. No, that's. Let me look it up real quick.
I loved August Burns Red.
Rescue and Restore.
Yeah.
Their 2014 album.
That one was good.
I like that one a lot. It brought a lot of feeling to it, and that's a big thing with me and metal and music in general. Is I like to feel things. I like metal that makes me feel shit. Which this is an interesting. We have a bit of a dichotomy here with our taste in metal, because although I do love like the underground shit and the death metal, the more extreme shit, I tend to stick more towards the mainstream side of things.
You are the lightness, whereas I am
Yes.
the darkness.
Yes. Or the opposite.
Yeah.
Like the darkness could be the mainstream. Bullshit.
That you know what? That is probably a more accurate depiction.
I mean, the mainstream has Nickelback.
That's definitely some dark shit.
That's quite a dark horse.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
You remember last year when everyone was trying to act like they were about to be like a heavy band? Be like, this is the heaviest Nickelback song I've ever heard.
That song wasn't terrible.
But people were acting like it meant something. Like, who
Yeah, I never
cares if this is 1 degree heavier than anything they've ever done? Like, Let's listen to some Cannibal Corpse and like, all right, still.
I remember
absolutely
people were
blowing it out of the water.
comparing the new Nickelback song. I think it's called "Feed the Machine." I think it's the title track off their album.
That sounds just
Yeah,
not generic at all.
I know. Red did a song called that.
What?
Red.
The same name?
Yeah, but years before. It's off of their Faceless album, or
Way to go, Nickelback.
Until We Have Faces. I think I can't remember, but it's called "Feed the Machine." And I remember at around the same time, Suicide Silence came out with Doris. with All Shall Perish's singer Eddie Hernida.
Man, All Shall Perish were fucking awesome.
Yeah, and okay, so Eddie's first album was Suicide Silence. I can't remember what it's called.
I don't remember either.
But
I was never into Suicide Silence.
I wasn't either, but it was good. It was good shit. The vocals were very enunciated, but still very harsh and heavy. It was very groove based.
Ooh.
I dug it. And then I heard this new single, Doris, off their latest release. Another CD I don't know the name of. Don't care to know the name of. And it was weird, and it got so much attention because it featured clean vocals.
Yes.
Weird clean vocals. It was almost like Suicide Silence was trying to do a Deftones type style.
Interesting.
And I mean, I saw Jared Dines. He made fun of it like crazy. He did a reaction video to it.
He sunk to the level of doing a reaction video.
He's done a couple.
Come on, Jared.
He's kind of reaching here and there. I enjoy his content though.
For the most part.
He's doing, at least he's doing something, and I like that. And he went through a rough patch, I think, because like so many people were trashing his shit. It seemed, but
I like you, Jared Dines.
I like him too. I like you too, Jared Dines. You might be on this show someday.
That would be beautiful.
And I also don't want to talk shit if you're gonna be on this show.
We will fight you, Jared Dines.
Oh,
The Doom Room's coming for you.
you heard it. You heard it here first, Jared. Nick's coming for you. That'd be a cool Shred War. He does this video series called Shred Wars.
Yeah.
And where he just goes with another YouTube guitarist and they shred back and forth at each other.
You know what we should do? Here it is. We're going to premiere this idea right here. What we're going to do is we're going to make ridiculous videos where we challenge Jared Dines and we put him online until he has to react, and then we bring out Tex and he shreds off against Tex.
Where it's our bullshit.
That's just
you and me
retarded.
You and me just not able to play guitar at all. And
Nope. But then when the time comes, we're like,
we bring you our champion.
I choose my champion is. We're going to do it. That's a great idea. I guess he'll respond. Jared Dines, we're coming for you.
For those who don't know, our friend Tex is just a phenomenal phenom of guitar.
His fingers move faster than anyone you've ever seen.
Yes. we have such a cast of characters around here, you know?
We do.
Around this Doom Room scene, this Lafayette scene. And we got you, we got me, we got Corey, the Cookie Monster.
The Cookie Monster.
We got Van Smith of Lucifist. We got Steven of Lucifist. Tony of Lucifist.
They're all characters.
Fucking Anthony of Gorgasm.
God damn.
And you know, we've all been almost cast in this comic series by Chris Charles of Bizarre Noir.
Bizarre Noir's Epic Doom Room Adventure.
Yes. Which I think, didn't Lucifist have like a comic bit from them too?
There was Bizarre Noir in the Davis Brothers.
Okay.
And then Jeannie got involved with that one.
Okay.
She had the bazooka, I think.
Okay, I missed that comic series. I need to go back and look at that. But
they're hilarious.
These Doom.
They came out and like he was doing them like once every one a day or every other day.
Or he would use them to promote shows and stuff.
That was all it was.
Yeah.
And then it just in the past month or so, like
it's all been Doom Room.
Because we were all hanging out at that Harvest Fest. And
okay.
We were all just we were having a real good time, laughing about it.
So there is a story behind it.
Well,
almost.
He didn't discuss doing it, but we were all hanging out at the Harvest Fest, just getting wild and having a lot of fun. So I'm sure that inspired it.
And he was telling me, he's like, yeah, I don't really know you very well, but like I wanted to include you in this. So I asked Nick, I was like, should I just make Dick like completely retarded? And you're like, yes. You said yes. And he told me this, and I all I said was I couldn't agree more. Like this is like, if I don't care if I'm retarded, it's I think it's great that I'm in it, and like if you can use my name to entertain people, then that's just fucking great.
And it works.
Yeah, and they've been so funny. And
I'm surprised that you weren't the first casualty.
Yeah, Austin.
He pissed off the Void King.
He pissed off the Void King. And he blew his head off.
Yeah.
And apparently Austin claims it was but a flesh wound, but I don't know if you can come back from getting your head blown up.
We'll just start having headless Austin walking around with us.
Yes.
That'd be creepy.
Go ahead and post that to Chris right now.
Just tell him.
Just so for future comics.
R.I.P. Austin.
Yes, you're very quick on the meme game.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Head blown off. Yeah, I'm excited for those bizarre guys to come back.
Mm-hmm.
They're fun.
When are they coming back next? Or do you know?
They are playing with Wheatbee and Night of the Round in December.
Okay.
And the Sluts.
And the Sluts.
And Thorax.
And Thorax.
It's our holiday party.
Aha.
It's going to be sweet.
Here at the house?
Nope, Carnahan.
Okay. I remember we had some epic holiday parties here at this house.
Yeah, we're definitely
holiday shows.
We want to do a big holiday party. Probably wouldn't be a show.
Yeah, party though.
But do another big party.
I remember. I think the last New Year's party I was here, it was just that. It was just a party, except Boner Jovi played.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boner Joe 6 rolled through.
Those guys.
Man, they destroyed that basement.
They're wild.
They are. They really are.
They were like a mongrel squad, just impregnating every woman in our paths.
Fun fact about that: we had the White Elephant gift exchange at that party, and I happened to walk away with an autographed vinyl of Boner Joe 6.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Wow.
I still have it. Like I mean, as if I could get rid of it or lose it.
Oh no!
Like
I'm surprised no one's broken into your house and stolen it.
It's definitely a staple of my vinyl collection.
Goodness.
My very limited vinyl collection.
Is it just that?
Oh no, I got a few. I will only get a vinyl if, one, I love the artwork. Two, it's an important, like the album's important to me.
Yeah.
Or like I think there's only one vinyl I have that I was just like I just have to get this just on principle, and it was when I saw Nea Obliviscaris at the Fifth Quarter Lounge.
Yep.
So I bought 2 of their CDs, and I was just looking at that vinyl. I'm like, you know what? Their artwork is sick.
Yes, it sure is.
And I'd be stupid if I just walked away from this show without getting one and getting one signed. So that's exactly what I did.
Yeah, funny that you mentioned that. So, let's see. When I went and saw them most recently, I think it was last year sometime, they didn't have any vinyl.
Okay.
They had some CDs, but they didn't have any vinyl. Then, less than a week later, I'm talking like 3 days later, they post on their Facebook page, look what we just got. And they'd gotten their first album, Portal of I, on vinyl. And of course, I hit up the page. I'm like, can you please send one? And they're like, these are for the tour only. So I go to the event pages and start hitting the event pages up saying, I will pay for you to get into this show if you buy me this vinyl. No one bit. And then, let's see, that was probably maybe 4 months later. They get back from tour. They post them up. They're like, we have a couple left over. So I hit it immediately. Well, you know where home is for them.
Australia.
It costs $60 to get that vinyl shipped from Australia.
Is that just shipping or total?
I believe it came out to just under $70 when it was all said and done.
Okay.
But I got it.
Man.
It's sitting right over there now in the front.
Okay, so our friend Brett, he went to that show with me at the 5th quarter.
Yes, he did.
Didn't he get you one too?
He did. It's sitting
Okay.
up top.
Oh, yeah, that's
got
the
me
one I got.
He got me Citadel signed, and then I had to buy Port of Levi.
Okay, they got
And a new album, Earn.
Yeah, they got
comes
that's
out
coming out soon.
very soon. If it's not this month, it's next month. It's next month. End of October, I believe, because they're coming to Chicago
Yeah.
mid-November.
Okay.
I guess I'll offer it right now. I bought 3 tickets, one for Corey, and then one for whoever else wanted to come. And I still have an extra ticket for it.
It would
I
depend.
think it's on a Saturday.
Okay. It would depend on what I got going on. I doubt I have anything going on.
It's the Oblivious Scars.
It is, and I enjoyed them.
Yeah, they're really awesome.
I think as long as it's not the 11th, I'm good.
I don't actually remember. I bought the tickets immediately. I was like, I'm not fucking missing this, because so many crazy shows have been selling out lately. Like I wanted to go to that Pliny show. Pliny.
Never heard of them. I don't know who they are.
He's a guitarist, like a virtuoso guitarist.
Oh, okay, okay.
He was playing with David Maximikic or Mike. I don't know how the fuck you pronounce it, but he's amazing too.
Yeah.
Just a really cool guitar player. Sold out. What the fuck are you talking about selling out? Where were you playing, in a place that could house 50? I wasn't very happy about it.
I went and saw A Day to Remember last night, and they were sold out at the Egyptian Room.
That show sold out?
The
Day to Remember show sold
yeah,
out?
it sold out.
Wow.
Thursday. Ooh,
That's
that might be a little rougher for me.
That would be.
Given work and all that. I don't know.
That's all right. The ticket will not go to waste. Brett's
No,
definitely going.
it won't. You
Oh,
got
that's it. I bought the ticket for Brett, and then I asked
Okay.
Corey, and Corey said he probably couldn't because of work as well.
Okay. Now we got Between the Buried and Me coming up soon.
Next weekend. No,
That's
2
2
weekends.
weeks.
2 weekends from now.
Oh, I'm so excited for
Dude.
that. Because they're doing their Colors anniversary.
Yep, 10-year anniversary of the Colors album, so they're playing the whole album front to back.
Mm-hmm. And that's an album that you have always loved
One
and
of my favorite albums.
always tried to get me into, but I just haven't.
Oh, you'll see it live and it'll
Exactly.
change
That's why I'm not listening to it
it. Yeah, just let it.
until it hits
let
me
it go.
live. Because that's usually if I'm not super into Between the Buried and Me. I love the Parallax too,
That's
and
a great album.
and the Hypersleep Dialogues. Alaska was pretty cool. That's another album I consider a favorite of mine of theirs. But like I've never gotten into them aside from Parallax. So usually when I'm not super into a band like Suicide Silence, I hate them in studio, or hated them in studio, and then I saw them live and I was like, oh, this is sick. So the live experience changes things sometimes.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's gonna change for them. I'm
Good,
excited.
good. I wish I could have saw them for Parallax too. That would have been so good.
I think I've seen them on every cycle at least. Well, definitely once, most twice. I think this is gonna be number 10 or 11.
Wow.
Stoked.
I think the most I've seen a band is maybe 5 times.
Yeah, I love these guys for a long time.
I think, and it'd be. I wasn't even trying to go see them. They just happened to be on the tour.
Yeah,
I think it was Five Finger Death Punch. I saw them a bunch.
sounds like that's my Bolt for My Valentine experience.
That used to be Bullet for My Valentine for sure. They used to be on every show.
Every band I wanted to see,
They're-
you could bet that Bolt for My Valentine was.
They're
on the
like
bill.
the hate breed of mainstream.
Yeah,
Which hate breed is just every goddamn show.
I don't think I've listened to very much Bullet.
Their last album, Venom, really caught me by surprise because it was a return to form.
What was one before it that was really bad?
Oh, Temper.
Yeah,
The one, yeah, the one we used to
that-
make fun of at the OG Doom Room.
that one was pretty bad.
I remember I didn't even know they had a new album out, and you're just like, have you heard this new Bullet for My Valentine song? I'm like, no. He's like, it's terrible.
Garbage.
And we watched the music video for it.
Bad.
I think we watched it on the projector, yeah.
That was not good.
And they had Tears Don't Fall Part 2, which was also garbage. The whole album was just garbage. I'm so glad they came out with Venom and made up for it.
I know. I feel like I did listen to it, but I don't remember it because it's been years now.
Venom
Yeah.
came out, yeah, probably 2 years ago now, because they toured with it with Slipknot, and I went on that tour with. That was the first time I saw Bullet was on that tour. I think it was. I can't remember what the tour was called, but anyway. So you guys all have a lot of awesome shows coming up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we do.
Starting this weekend.
Yeah. Finally gonna have Catalytic back.
Oh yeah.
They played we did 2 Halloween shows last year, and they played the first one.
Yeah.
That's the last time we had them, and I think that
was a good show.
That was a great
that
show.
that was the first appearance of Harley Quinn.
Yeah. Yep.
No, by the time this episode airs, this weekend show will have already happened. But I saw them, I think, probably a week ago, 2 weeks ago now at Taps.
Yeah.
They have a pretty strong set. They're
Nice.
coming in hard.
Sweet. I'm excited to hear the new material.
Oh, it's really good. Dustin, he sent me a copy of it to review.
Ooh.
So for those listening, you all about to get some extra content. Gonna get a review of Catalytic's EP, The Fall.
While you start to give it out, I'm gonna go grab another beer.
Oh yeah, what you got?
Citradelic from New Belgium,
Ooh,
the Tangerine IPA.
ooh.
Do you need one too?
I don't know. I might want to taste it first.
All right, you start giving them the lowdown on that new Catalytic album,
Oh, okay.
and I'll let it be a surprise for me when this airs.
Yeah, it's a cool EP. I thought. See, when I originally heard about the album, I thought it was gonna be a double album, not double EP. Because I looked at the Dropbox folder that Dustin Chavez sent me, and it only had 5 songs. I'm like, hey, is everything here? Because I thought he's like, nope, it's just an EP. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. It's a solid EP. I'll go into way more depth with my actual review, but it's a good album. It definitely advances on the style that they had, which was very. In the beginning, very similar to Killswitch Engage, if Howard was white, and so it's cool. It's cool. Dustin sent me a bunch of the instrumentals, I think, about a year and a half ago, asking me what I thought. And I dug them. It's definitely a much more powerful and matured sound for them, I think. They've definitely come on their own, and I remember they were trying really hard to break away from that Killswitch Engage sound. Were they successful? I don't know. You'll have to find that out, and what I think about it in my review coming in the next week or so. It will not, despite most of our extra content on this Journey into Comics network. This will not be Patreon exclusive. This will be available on the Podcastrophe Facebook page for your listening and viewing pleasure. That's right, viewing. I will be doing a video for it instead. And now, a message from our sponsors. Nick Maxon of Maxon's and Me Brewing.
Hello, I'm Nick Maxon with Maxon's and Me Brewing. How do you like your beer? Crisp, smooth, hard on the palate, or soft on the tongue. However you like it, I'll brew it. Maxon's and Me. Better ingredients, better beer. Maxon's and Me.
Oh, wow. Thank you for that. This what is this again? This beer that you handed me?
This is New Belgium's Citradelic. It's a Tangerine IPA.
Okay. It's a very light flavor.
It is.
Like there's not much flavor to it. It's not hitting me at least. Maybe it's because I also have.
I think it's very fruity.
Yeah.
But
I also
it's
have
also
Alpha
very light.
King. I have Alpha King on my palate right now.
That's a palate smasher right there.
Yes, it is. Oh, I had such a good time this last weekend, hanging out with Nate Phillips of Journey into Comics, Sarah, Veronica, Brandon, all of them. Sunday, we finished up the day before I headed back down here to my homeland. We went to the Three Floyds Brewery. I was really bummed to find out they weren't selling zombie dust that day. Instead,
Nice.
I got a case of Alpha King,
Darn.
which I could easily get down here. Easily.
Really?
Yeah.
A whole case?
Maybe not a whole case, but
Not for a good price.
it's definitely a steal because they don't tax you up there.
That's true.
No sales tax straight from
That's
the
true.
brewery.
That's a good deal.
So I was like, fuck it. I'll just get a case of Alpha King. I'll be set for a month or two. I don't drink very much outside of shows and parties.
I drink a lot.
I do not. I've found myself, I'll drink a lot. I mean, maybe now that I'm doing this podcast, I'll be drinking a lot more because it's a fun thing to do while you're recording.
Yeah, it is.
Just sit and drink, shoot the shit with somebody.
Helps you loosen up a little
Yeah,
bit.
it does.
So you can shoot the
It
shit
does.
a little smoother.
I love these little glasses.
Me too.
The-
I love that 18th Street cup too.
Uh-huh.
That's a sword, isn't it? A little cutting through it.
What?
Do the words. It's a little
Oh,
sword.
yeah. Oh, I see it now. With this, okay, it's got two skeleton hands on the hilt. I was looking at that, and I was like, that's not a sword. That looks like a bunch of, like, chess pieces, but, oh, it's a skeleton. Skeletal hands.
Yep.
Yeah, that is a Barrel Massacre 2017.
Yeah, they had a bunch of just ridiculously
Uh-huh.
good beers.
Ooh.
We're heading up there tomorrow,
Yeah.
actually, for the metal takeover that they're doing with, I believe it's the Royal Skate Shop.
Okay.
They're the ones hosting it.
So, of course, Ben will be there.
Yeah.
It's Axios and Mines Horizon.
Yeah, and then
Fucking
Blood
Ben's, of course.
Letter.
Blood Letter.
They're
Okay.
from Chicago. But yeah, Mines Horizon, Axios, I'm there.
Oh, definitely.
So,
I may join you.
yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, like I said, I love this glass. It's so tiny. It's so cute.
That's exactly the word I would use.
Yes, it's adorable. It's okay. We're in a safe place.
We can
We're
use-
metalheads, and this is a safe place to say shit.
How would you describe that cup?
It's pretty cute. It's pretty.
Pretty much the cutest glass in the house.
Yes.
I'm gonna keep drinking this. This is all right. This is all right. It's no Sweetwater 420.
Well,
That's
not many things are.
no.
I really like the pineapple IPA that Sweetwater has. I should probably go try to find some of that. We got really distracted talking about the show this weekend with Catalytic because we really like Catalytic.
Yeah. What other shows do we got coming up?
Well, we still got Salem's Child we got to talk about
Oh,
too,
yes.
because they're playing this Saturday as well.
And Oak Hill.
And Oak Hill. I've not seen Oak Hill. I've listened to Oak Hill.
I have not listened to Oak Hill. What are they like?
They're good. It's that rock and roll.
Yeah.
Imagine who am I thinking of? It makes me think of like Down to Dust.
Okay.
Remember them? It'll be good. It'll be a lot of fun.
Okay.
But yeah. Salem's Child. Haven't seen them, and it's been a year now too.
Yeah. I don't think I have not seen them.
No, you didn't
No.
see them at the Halloween show last year.
I think I was a little preoccupied partaking.
Yeah.
I was also. I took. It was the next night. It was the house show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very partaking that night,
Yeah.
and I think I took my Harley Quinn costume idea to the next level that night.
I do remember you didn't leave with the Harley Quinn costume.
Not on. I had it with me. I
didn't
still
stay
have
on,
it.
though.
No, it did not. I was in the booty shorts. I actually had makeup on. It was a wreck. It was a train wreck.
We have pictures of that for
Yes.
Patreon subscribers.
Oh yeah.
Or we can.
Oh, I wonder if there are unreleased images because I know they're all on the Nick and Dick page.
I don't know. We were wrecked.
Yeah, we were definitely wrecked. Oh, so we have this show. When's the next one?
Then we get into November, September,
Yes.
which is, so we've got Sunday Fun Day with Wretch,
Mhm.
Astral Mass, and Chainsmoker.
Okay.
tossing around the idea of doing another dodgeball tournament that day. Since it's Sunday Fun Day, we'll start earlier. Because I've been playing dodgeball with the 5-year-old, and he's becoming too easy of a target. So
you want a challenge, man.
I want a challenge.
You really want to expand your skills. To test yourself.
Expand my prowess.
Yeah, you want to test yourself. See what you got.
Yeah, you're going to be on my team.
Okay.
Team America's coming back.
Okay.
So
yeah, we kicked ass at fucking field day.
We did. We
dominated the dodgeball.
Dude, I've been watching, leading up to that performance, I was watching a lot of The Matrix. So I could channel my inner Neo. And, I mean, whether or not anybody wants to admit it, and whether or not there's any video proof, man, I was slowing down time to dodge those balls.
I believe it.
Ben Stiller, Vince Vaughn, they got nothing on me when it comes to it. So
I like to think that I served as a great distraction.
You definitely did.
I mean, I was completely decked out in red, white, and blue. We all were. We look
great.
We were all very liberated, very very free, very patriotic. Oh, it was such a glorious day.
It was.
Oh, yeah, dodgeball. That was pretty much the only thing we won.
We
right?
did.
I don't think we did anything else.
The slip and slide.
Yeah. Okay. So we only lost by 1 second.
1 second on the slip and slide.
I was really worried about that one. I was like, man, I'm gonna sit and do this flippy cup thing for like half an hour before I finally get it.
You kind of beefed it on the flippy cup.
Yeah. Yeah. I got a lot quicker than I thought. It was, I think, less than a minute though.
I took the knee going down the slide.
Yeah.
So I could just pop back up. Man, it looked majestic. There is photographic proof of that. If you subscribe to the Journey into Comics Patreon, you can find these photos.
Yes.
On the Podcastrophe page. I don't know. Nate's going to listen to this.
He's going to be like, why are we putting all this stuff that's already out there for free?
He's like, why does he, why? We can't do that.
I mean, we can definitely put the stuff up there. I'm sure. I don't know if we could charge people money for it.
We're not charging people money for pictures.
No, it's a subscription. I get it.
It's a subscription.
But they're already out there for free. I get it. You're trying to help. We'll
make it convenient right here, or you're already watching it. You hear our voices. You want to see us.
Yeah,
in America.
yeah.
You don't want to have to go back to Facebook and scroll through and find it. I think,
yeah.
But anyway, that's Sunday Fun Day. And then the next night, we have a thrash night, also at the house, with Extinction AD, Paralysis, and War Curse.
I've heard Extinction AD before. Where have I heard that before?
I'm not sure.
You haven't booked them, have you?
I have not.
Okay.
I saw them when I went on tour with 8 Bells, Vector, and Voivod.
Okay.
They played in New York City with them.
Okay.
So that was pretty fucking cool. I think I've got one of their vinyls, actually.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So they're pretty good. They're
pretty good. They're going to be fun.
They're
and
thrash?
That's going to be thrash. So the night before is going to be more sludgy doom.
I like sludgy doom.
I love sludgy doom. So we have sludgy doom night on Sunday. We've got thrash night on Monday. And tech death on Friday. Because we've got Gigan, Hatchling, Kosseth, and Sunless.
Is that how you say the name Gigan?
I think they actually call it Gigan.
Okay, Gigan. When I saw that, like, the Godzilla fan in me, like,
yeah,
it got excited. I'm like, God, somebody named their band after a fucking Godzilla monster.
I always think of Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah,
because so many Final Fantasies have the
Gigan,
or have the whatever it is. I don't know.
I think in Godzilla it was Jigen, but they're Japanese. They're American dubs, so they could have been mispronounced. Who knows?
The you remember Elbow Deep?
Yeah.
Their vocalist is the vocalist for Gigan now.
Oh. Okay.
So
That'll
I'm
be
excited to. I've not seen him perform with Gigan. So
okay.
Be cool.
Oh, you know who I really loved at the 100th show?
Who?
I think they were called The Forms They Take.
Yeah,
Dude,
Luca's band.
They were fucking sick.
Yeah, we should get them back.
Oh, definitely.
Shout out to Morgan and Luco from the Metal Experience. Luco.
Oh, Luco from the Metal Experience. Okay.
Yeah, Luco's in the forms they take.
Okay. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I want them back here. They were because I don't think they had any music to sell at the time.
They had, I thought they had demos, like just not like, I don't say well produced, but just like
I
turned
get
onto
you.
a CD. I think they had some of those, but I don't remember exactly.
Huh. Well, hopefully by the next time they come through, they will, because I would love to get that shit on my phone. And just
They're
jam
on
it.
the 100th show sampler.
Yes, they
live
are.
tracks.
Okay.
But I don't, and actually we didn't even put it on there. I think they're the second band,
Okay.
and they have 2 songs.
Yeah, Dan didn't do a track listing, did he?
We didn't want it that way.
Yeah, because
If you listen,
fucking
they
listen
tell
to
you.
it.
They
Yeah,
tell you.
yeah, but you got to listen.
Yep.
Which, if you know where it's at, then you're not going to
Yeah.
listen. You're just going to skip to what you want.
Yeah. You just gotta listen to the whole thing and find out.
Yeah.
That was fun. We're doing the same. We're doing more live CDs for these Metal at Market Square shows.
Sweet.
So Dan is gonna come for all 4 shows
Mhm.
and record from the board, and then we're gonna take video. We're gonna do sampler CDs and DVDs
Mm-hmm.
for all the shows. Probably not every single show. We'll do like night 1 and 2, and then night 3 and 4.
I mean, you got to get that Halloween show.
Oh, the Halloween show is gonna be massive.
That show is so stacked with bands.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Our very own Nate Phillips.
Oh, he'll be there.
He'll be there with his band Walk Among Us with Sarah and Veronica
That's gonna be sweet.
of Foodies Watching Movies and Journey into
Foodies
Comics and
Watching
Journey into
Movies.
Wrestling and the Voice of Survival podcast. All these podcasts on our Journey into Comics network. Shameless plugging.
Always shameless.
But yeah, so yeah, that lineup is so stacked. I mean, it originally had Night of the Round, but they
And then they had I guess one of the guys is getting married, and that's his
Okay.
honeymoon. And when he thought he was going to get back that morning, he was getting back that night.
okay.
So they're going to be playing the other holiday show.
Okay.
So now instead of playing the Halloween show, they're playing the Christmas show.
Final Fantasy Christmas music. I get it.
Oh yeah.
It'll work.
Oh yeah.
But we got Sarcophagy.
Sarcophagy, and then Limb Splitter.
Yes.
They are from Ohio. I saw them not this year, but this past year at Chicago Domination Fest. And god damn, they're so good, so brutal.
Ooh.
Brutal death metal. I think if I'm not mistaken, they just put out a new album and it's called Chloroform Cocktail.
I love brutal death metal.
It just you hear that and you're like, okay.
I mean, for me, the music's cool. It's cool. I got to really be in the mood for it, but I absolutely always love the song titles.
You should go to a brutal death metal festival where you listen to 10 brutal death metal bands in a row, and then you start to hear that they're not all, it's not all the same stuff. You're like, okay, like,
Well, I remember
there's a lot of really different stuff going on here. Because I used to think, it all just sounds the exact same, but you got to be really immersed in it, and you're like, okay, they're definitely not all doing the same thing.
I remember. Okay, so you had Defeated Sanity at the Lafayette Theater.
Yeah.
And did Gorgasm play that show? Or
No.
Okay,
That was
no,
Carter, Dick Smash, and
they were
Breeding
just
Filth.
all there because
Yeah.
we all love Defeated Sanity.
Yeah.
But no, that was okay. So with Cardor Dick Smash, it's not an entirely brutal death metal show.
Technically, no, right?
So and Breeding Filth, they're not brutal death; they're just tech death, aren't they? Or am I thinking?
I wouldn't say they're brutal. I would
Okay,
say
but
they are brutal, but they're not brutal
Yes.
death metal.
but Defeated Sanity, they're pretty much along those lines. And who's the other band?
Iniquitous Deeds
Yes.
and Iniquitous Savagery.
Yes. Okay, so we had 3 brutal death metal bands that night.
Yeah.
And I think Iniquitous Savagery I really liked. I think
They're
it was
great.
them. It was them and Defeated Sanity. Iniquitous Deeds, they were okay, in my opinion. My opinions do not reflect the Doom Room and the bands they choose. If my opinions did, this place probably wouldn't be a good place to go.
That was a Sunday show, I think.
Yeah.
It was great.
Oh yeah, I had a great time there. I got so thrashed that fucking night.
Yeah, me too.
But
Who else is on that bill? So Walk Among Us.
Walk Among Us, Sarcophagy, Limb Splitter.
Mormont.
Oh, yeah,
the
Mormont.
Drum and bass Game of Thrones band. The Enstrangers, 2-piece. It's like, I don't even know how to... What are the Enstrangers? They sound punk almost, but almost like...
I have not heard them.
Rockabilly? It's Jim Voles.
Yeah, yeah.
And excuse me, my friend, I don't remember the other guy's name, but it's just Jim on the guitar,
Okay.
and the other guy on the drums. They played. I think it was a Sunday Fun Day show, or it was Zildjian and Dave's birthday party.
Okay, yeah, that's where I know the name from.
They played. They were one of the first bands that night.
Okay.
And then Thogot, which is my buddy Carl. He's gonna laugh at me for saying it like this, but it's like noise. You know, he makes a lot of cool sound.
Yeah.
And then he's got Ryan Strasma and Corey Guilford playing. So it'll be noise with like Corey's guitar and that pedal that he's got, and Ryan on the bass. That's gonna be fucking.
It's gonna be weird.
Really awesome. And then
weird in the best of ways.
Yeah. Who else is playing? There's so many bands on that show. Dwarf Among Midgets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Dwarf Among Midgets is playing.
Are they like officially back or?
They're back.
Sweet.
They're they're totally back. They're playing that.
Sweet.
They're playing the Shakedown.
Okay.
That's a crazy good lineup too. I honestly don't remember all of them, but it's stacked with some of my favorites from bands that I've booked, like Sluts, The Chips, Tendrils Day Sound,
Mm-hmm.
then Dwarf playing that one too. There's a bunch of sick bands on that. And then they're doing so my band Weed Bee is playing, it's like right after Thanksgiving, the Saturday right after Thanksgiving. We're playing a show at the New Outhouse with Dwarf, Lucifist, and a band called To My Dismay.
Okay, I know that band. Of that band.
We played a show with them in Kokomo back in June. Weed Bee did.
Okay.
They didn't have a drummer then. They were pretty good.
I bet they didn't have a computer.
They did not have a computer, no. No, they had an iPod or something, but they didn't have the computer.
I was gonna say nobody can top the computer from Car Door Dick Smash.
I wanted to have one of his projects, the Moons of Uranus. I wanted I wanted him to open the Halloween show, but he's just so crazy booked. You know, he already had things lined up for a year.
You can tell. I mean, I think it was on the cover art of Corridor Dick Smash's first CD. Like, he is just a fucking rock star on that.
Oh, dude, he carries the band. Honestly,
I can see that.
No offense to Keegan or Aaron.
I can
love
see
those
that,
guys, but you can tell that when it comes down to it, computers doing the majority of the
yeah.
work.
He wasn't doing so hot this last show that he was at. I mean, he had Chris Pelot back there for moral support, I guess.
That doesn't make sense.
Or maybe Chris was just drunk and decided to hang out back there instead of out in the crowd with us regular people. He thought he was too good for us.
Fucking Pelot.
Fucking Pelot. Whatever happened to the fantasies?
Just totally disintegrated.
Kind of like my band. Oh, which we didn't even finish talking about my band.
Yeah.
We just completely got distracted. So,
loop around.
So for the longest time. Okay, so David finally back to this In Umbris. That was the name of the band, In Umbris, which is Latin for In Darkness.
Clever.
And we started jamming more. David came back. He started jamming with us, and I had no vocal setup. We were in a garage, a very cluttered, cram-packed garage, and we just didn't have the best practice circumstances. We did it anyways. We made the best of what we had. I didn't have a vocal setup. I couldn't do vocals, so I bought a PA. Every band I've been in, I've already had a vocal setup ready to go.
Right.
I had no idea what the fuck I was doing to set one up myself. So I bought a PA, thought I could just run a mic straight through it. Nope. So I lugged that thing. There's $300. There's $300 for a powered PA. Yeah.
just not gonna get better.
I lug this thing all the way out there. It's a 20-minute drive from my house. I lug it out there. It doesn't work. Lug it back. About a month later, I started doing some actual research, talking to people. They're like, oh, yeah, you just need a mixer. So, and they're like, oh, we already have a mixer. So
Okay.
literally the next practice, I'm like, okay, so you guys are going to bring that mixer? Oh, yeah, let me find it first. They can't find it.
Okay.
Oh, it's at his house. No, it's not at my house. It's at your house. Oh, but I thought it was no. Just back and forth. So then I just say, fuck it. And on my way to practice, I stop at McGuire Music and Sound, pick up a PV mixer. So there's another $125.
God damn.
Yeah. I take it out there. Finally, I get some fucking vocals in on a practice.
Okay.
They already have 5 songs written. They have, and apparently they already had lyrics and vocals to them, but I hadn't heard them. I had decided that I was going to give it my own go.
Okay.
I was going to rewrite the songs. That way they'd be my own, you know. And so like, after a while, like I just wasn't creatively driven enough to keep going. So I was like, let's hear what these lyrics sound like.
Okay.
So this last practice, I bring everything in, brought a dual mic setup. The mixer has 2 mic inputs, but for whatever reason we couldn't get the second one to work. I think it was because we only had 1 speaker or something. I don't know.
Okay.
So I finally hear these lyrics. I finally hear these vocals over the music, and it sounded so badass. We had a great practice. We had a ton of awesome covers lined up and original music lined up. Like covers that were just all over the place. I mean, we had System of a Down, we had Megadeth, we had Pantera, and not even like well-known Pantera. We had a Parkway Drive and Lamb of God songs. Yeah, we had all kind. We were gonna do some Mudvayne. We were all over the fucking place with our covers, and it was great. I wanted to do at least like 1 or 2 covers a show at first. We start nearing the end of our practice, and there was this little kid. I think it was the drummer's nephew, and he was just every practice like this kid annoyed me like right from the get-go. But I just never said anything because I'm a quiet guy when it's not my place. Like I respect where I'm at and the people around me. But he was doing his typical thing. He just all he does is just run around. He fucking just trying to get our attention. He's like super excited about the music and all that. And he's like, hey, look at what I'm doing, or hey, do this, hey, just running in and out of the house all around our shit. And, you know, and this time around, he was doing that same exact thing. Thomas, the drummer, he would just like yell, hey, get the fuck out of here, go back in the house. And the kid would be like, fuck off, fuck you. Little, like 7 or 8 year old kid.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, wow, okay. Whatever. So, somehow a pop gets spilled. Gets all over our guitarist. Not all over, but on the amp, on the pedal.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And I don't think it was bad. I don't think any damage happened. It was just a little bit on the shit. Guitarist just stops. I mean, I think we weren't even playing anything, but he just stops and he just like, it's that calm before the storm, you know, before someone just completely blows up. He just unplugs the guitar, the cable from the guitar, and pulls it off and just chucks the guitar at the ground. Picks it back up and chucks it back at the ground. And he just starts throwing a fucking fit. And our drummer Thomas, he's just like he's pissed off at this point. He's like, you what the fuck, man? Like just he's like, you can't just fucking throw a $700 guitar on the fucking ground like that. I'm like, holy shit, that's a $700 guitar. Right, and he just fucking threw it at the ground. Holy shit. The bass player and I, David, we're just like, both of us are just standing there looking at each other like, what just happened?
Right.
Is he serious? Like, what's going on? And then Thomas just looks at me. He's like, I'm sorry you had to fucking see this, and went off for a second, Damien, the guitarist, he starts packing shit up. He's like, I'm done.
Damien who?
Oh, I can't remember his last name right now. They're all really young kids. They're like all 21.
Okay.
I was the experienced one in the band.
Wow.
For all of my experience, not much. I mean,
That's saying something.
I know. So and I was really excited to that was one of the reasons I joined the band was because they were so young and inexperienced, and I figured, I could take what little experience I do have and help them out.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like they started packing up, and Thomas comes up to me and is like, "Well, I guess it's all on you whether this band continues or not because you know more musicians than we do." I'm like, "Well, I'm about to start a podcast, and I really want to focus on that, so I'll see you guys around."
Damn.
I was already like kind of losing steam with the band thing.
And this is with the guy from Florida who moved back.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, I technically still have the Fall in mind whenever which hasn't produced anything. Well, I mean, Will sent me new music, but I haven't produced anything for it in 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think the last thing I wrote for it was Nevermore. And I wrote and recorded that July 4th, 2015. Just before I came here to the Doom Room for a show or party. I can't remember.
You were in the mood.
Yeah, oh yeah. And that song never got mixed, never got officially released via Fall in Mind. I've released it. I've put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
I love that song. I wish it would have got mixed. But yeah, so I mean, he recently sent me a new song last week or this week. It's sick.
Nice.
All of everything he's always sent me has always just been top notch, unique, sick, brutal here and there. It has its moments of brutality. It has its moments of weirdness and creepiness. He's got like a weird horror vibe to his
nice
new metalcore, whatever that is.
New metal.
New metalcore. But yeah. So we've always liked this one band. All That Remains. I've always liked them. You kind of stopped liking them or just stopped caring.
Yeah. One of those.
This is one of those cases where you look at a band and you check out its evolution. And they kind of went in a very unfavorable direction for most people.
Yeah, me, myself included.
Yeah. I've stuck with them. And while it's not, we will never get the fall of ideals.
Never again.
We will never get This Darkened Heart.
Unfortunately not.
I could do with or without Overcome. That was an okay CD for me.
Overcome was, I mean, compared to everything after it, except maybe, what's the one? For We Are Many?
Yeah.
For We Are Many was...
For We Are Many was a very solid record for me.
I don't even know where it would probably be somewhere with me with, on par with Overcome.
Okay.
Fall of Ideals being one.
Oh yeah, that's number one for me. See,
by far.
The first CD I heard by them was For We Are Many.
Really?
And the first CD in its entirety.
Okay.
I think I had heard All That Remains before that, and I always liked them, but I never got into them. And finally, For We Are Many came out, and I pirated it off of fucking Pirate Bay or some shit. And I just listened to it in my car and jammed it, and I was like, wow, this is really badass. I like this. And then that's when I decided to go back and listen to Overcome and listen to Fall of Ideals. And I was like, holy shit, Fall of Ideals.
Yeah.
Like,
Fall of Ideals is...
Shannon Lucas.
Shannon Lucas definitely had his mark on that album.
Oh, definitely. I mean, anything Shannon Lucas is involved with, I've come to enjoy. He was on Battlecross's album, The War of Will.
Really?
Yeah, and I saw that he toured with them too, and that's my favorite CD of theirs as well.
Damn.
But there's another thing about the Fall of Ideals that I've come to find is in common with most other albums that I find to be complete gold. is that it is produced by Adam D from Killswitch Engage.
Yeah, Adam D produced so many great albums.
Yeah, it turns out about 80% and 63% of statistics are made up on the spot.
Right.
But about 80% of my favorite albums are all produced by Adam D. It turns out.
He's got a knack for making things sound a certain way that are just
And if you watch the Killswitch Engage documentary, Set This World Ablaze, it goes over his recording process, like him recording End of Heartache, and he's just so meticulous. He wants everything to be tight, and if it's not perfect, he's just nope.
That won't do.
Nope. And then I went and saw the Parkway Drive documentary titled The DVD.
Good.
And they went to him. They found out about him through Killswitch Engage, and they found out he did recording. And so they went to record. They went from Australia to wherever in Massachusetts to record with him for their first album, Killing with a Smile. And so you get once again, you get to look at his recording process with another band, not even his own band. And so they tour on that, and then they decide they want to go back for more. They want to record their second album, Horizons, with him.
Good move.
And once again, fantastic album.
Right.
Has one of my favorite songs, Carrion.
Yep.
And they never went back. They never went back to him. I mean, but unlike other bands that have gone a different direction than Adam D, like their albums continued to stay at a decent quality. I mean, you and I, when we first became friends, we geeked out about their album, not Deep Blue, Atlas.
Yeah. Ooh, Atlas.
Atlas.
That's a good album.
Oh yes. And we can get into that a little bit later, but All That Remains, like,
right.
So we start out with what's that first album called? Behind Silence and Solitude. I'm not a big fan of that album. That was very, very early. It was from 2002.
Yeah, it was very early on.
Very early, raw, unpolished All That Remains.
I don't remember. I mean, I don't remember listening to the early stuff a whole lot. Like, it was one of those I went back to listen to it just to,
I've recently
just to say I did. And none of it necessarily stuck out to me really, really hard.
Same. I think that first album, I don't remember any clean vocals.
No, I don't think so either. And then
they came out with This Darkened Heart.
Yeah.
A year later, it looks like.
It's when they already probably,
My iTunes apparently labeled it as dance for genre.
Oh, I agree.
yeah, you can,
I dance too.
You can get down on that. As you begin to flail your arms around. Yes.
Throw down.
No, I've recently gotten into This Darkened Heart, and because you can definitely start to hear where they're going.
Yeah.
And that is the next CD, which is Fall of Ideals. Which blows
so good.
Like right from the get-go, you start off with the hit This Calling.
And it's off to a good start.
Oh yeah, because
it doesn't slow down.
It literally starts with a breath.
Yeah.
You hear Phil Labonte take a breath and then unleash this fucking gnarly high scream, and it just goes.
The riff's good.
Yeah.
The drums are immediately just in it.
Oh yeah, like I said, Shannon Lucas.
First song, fucking guitar solo. It's not the last.
Yeah.
It just.
Then you move into the next fucking song, which is another single off the album, Not Alone.
Oh, that's a great one.
It just keeps it coming. This entire CD is nothing but onslaught of hit after hit after hit.
Whispers.
Fucking
Weak-Willed is just
it's fucking brutal.
Yeah,
that's
brutal.
the time All That Remains is like, hey, do you guys want to do a death metal song?
Yeah.
Okay,
and that was
we'll do a death metal song.
Great. Followed by 6, which is the first song I ever heard by them.
Yeah.
And everybody knows why. Just that song was just so good.
Oh, The Air That I Breathe.
Yeah.
Air That I Breathe. Whisper. Okay, I remember. I think it was right around the time their, I want to say 5th, whatever, A War You Cannot Win, that CD that came out in 2012. And I remember I followed Phil Labonte on Facebook for a while, and he's like, everybody complaining about fucking us going poppy or too mainstream, like with all the clean singing and stuff. Have you not heard Whispers? It's like and now that I look back on Fall of Ideals, I'm like, you know what, that album had a lot of really melodic, clean song stuff,
and that was
and it was fine. Exactly.
You could do the Fall of Ideals 2, 3, 4, and 5, and if you just followed the same formula, I bet you I would listen to it.
I probably would too, but you know,
I like bands that progress, but in terms of these guys, it's like, guys,
they went a totally different direction. And, you know, I've read up on a lot of stuff, not recently, but over the course of years, because I wanted to be able to justify why I like this stuff. Like, you did not like their direction. While I don't necessarily wish they would have gotten away from Fall of Ideals, I admire their evolution. I stuck with them and I evolved with them.
Yeah, I just evolved, and we talked about this earlier. You evolved towards things that are more mainstream. Feels like such a derogatory term, and it's not supposed to be. But
it's not.
I like my stuff just more brutal. Pick faster, more solos, more brutal. And so, in my opinion,
so you admire the technicality of things. You admire the prowess of things.
Yes, I think that with Fall of Ideals, 11 songs, 11 shades of All That Remains, that all are good. Like every single one of them, it's all brutal, it's all heavy, but it's every single song is a little bit different, and I like that about it. Whereas, preparing for doing this podcast, I went through and listened to the full albums of.
Oh, you listened to full albums?
I listened to every song off of every album, in a row, and there were, like I told you, For We As Many, there were more than one song that I was like, now I will go back and listen to this. There was not, very many
A War You Cannot
songs.
Win. What songs on A War You Cannot Win do you think you could listen to regularly?
I like I said, I only scrambled through them, but like I told you, like looking through. Who produced it and stuff? They went away from Adam D for a little bit, but came back to Adam D for We Are As Many, or whatever. For We Are Many. Came back to Adam D for that one, and I could just tell. Like I wasn't looking up the info as I was listening to him. I was sitting here playing Super Ghouls and Ghosts, listening to All That Remains, going through the albums, and I specifically remember thinking like, oh man, this fucking guitar solo is insane. I need to stand up and go look at the phone to see what it was. And it was for We Are Many. And I did that 2 more times while listening to that, starting from the most recent. So I've already listened to 3 albums, and on album 4, I finally stand up and say, oh, I need to go see what I'm listening to.
Yeah. That
is my perspective of them, is I like the stuff that's it's heavy, it's fast. I'm okay with cleans, because like you said, with Fall of Ideals, there's cleans in almost every song.
Yes.
But it's different. You still riff, you still solo. I'll have to go through and listen to For We Are Many more, and I'll probably go through and listen to the rest of them more too.
I've come to find that despite the fact that I like the newer albums, past For We Are Many, like A War You Cannot Win. A War You Cannot Win was like the second album into me being a fan of them. Their second album they released while I was a fan. And so and it came at a time where I managed to connect with a lot of songs. I was going through the breakup with my fiance that year, all that shit. And I managed to connect with a lot of the lyrics. And I've always been on the mellower, more feely side of things. Like as you're technical and shit, I'm more I like emotional power rather than solos. And but I mean, don't get me wrong, I love a good solo, I love a good shred, I love a good thrash.
Oh yeah.
But for the most part, I gotta be in the mood for it.
I'm always in the mood.
I gotta be in the mood
riff,
for it,
or for the solo.
Oh, I love the riff. The riff
is always,
the riff's where it's at.
They don't riff as hard.
No.
I guess honestly, going back through, I think that they have just very steadily moved away from the heaviness. And because the more I go back and listen to it, like I was like, oh, the war you cannot win. I don't like it very much,
But you can cherry pick some songs.
but I can cherry pick songs. And I think there's definitely cherry picked stuff. Like I think Madness starts out with a relatively
Heavy song.
I think
Safe House.
that one was all right. I remember being like, okay, we are off to an all right start.
At some point, Phil Abani went super libertarian, super pro-gun, and all this shit. So all about fucking Second Amendment shit. And so he's really started putting a lot of that shit into his lyrics. Like Safe House. That song is literally about him sitting in his living room with a fucking gun, just waiting for someone to break into his house.
Wow.
The CD before that, The Order of Things, that came out while I was living here, and I loved that CD at first. Now it's just another one of those CDs. Like most of their CDs turn into this for me now, is where like I loved the CD at first. I'll listen the hell out of it, but then I'll start cherry picking from then on.
Mm-hmm.
They had a song called No Knock about no-knock raids.
Yeah.
And that was another one of those heavy All That Remains Is songs where before they broke into we're going to just do mainstream radio rock shit.
Right.
I think okay, so I can go and list off songs off these CDs that you hadn't heard. And like I can just sit there and tell you my favorites, like War You Cannot Win, You Can't Fill My Shadow, Asking Too Much. Moments in Time was a really good song. I think you would like that song lyrically. Because it talks about how, like, in the grand scheme of things, like, we are completely insignificant. We are here. We are just a moment in time. We are completely insignificant in terms of eternity. You know,
Which I totally agree with.
Yeah,
when you pull things out to a macro perspective.
And it's a brutal song.
There is a song on The Order of Things called True Cult Metal.
That song was okay.
And it is spelled.
Yes.
It is, the U is a V and everything. And I tell you folks,
It is not. It is not.
They were wrong. That is blasphemy that they would name a song True Cult Metal and then play the song that they played. I'm not buying it.
Yeah, I think
the only thing that I'm really pissed off about with all that remains research is they would dare do that.
I think the lyrics kind of made sense with it, but musically, no.
I want to
not
get
at all.
into an altercation with them about it. I'm not happy.
Oh shit. Okay, moving on to The Order of Things. Yeah, the lead single off the track, This Probably Won't End Well. I dug that track.
That's what I say to that.
No Knock. We talked about No Knock. The Greatest Generation, while not one of my favorite songs, it's really cool. It's about like basically his grandfather and shit like that. The hardworking people that grew up and were just hard workers, and I don't know where I was going with that. Pernicious, that's a good song.
It's a cool word.
Fiat Empire was good. Criticism and Self-Realization, the final track on the album. It's a long track. It ended up like it's got its brutal moments. It's the chorus is really calm, and it's about the whole thing's about reflection. Like the verses are about this guy who's climbed to the top, but it means nothing. And then the chorus is like it's all reflection on himself rather than this character that he's been talking about in the verses. I definitely suggest it. And then this recent album, Madness, where they completely took a nosedive into wherever the fuck they're going. I remember before I heard the album, I saw that the story behind it was Phil went out to Hollywood and he tracked vocals before music.
Yeah, he did. And then Ollie wrote to his vocals.
Yeah. So it was an interesting direction. And it was a direction that Phil wanted to do, I guess. And he thanks in the liner notes. He says, thank you to the band and all the guys in the band for trying this new method out and seeing what happened.
A vocally driven album as opposed to a guitar driven album.
Which is totally the opposite of what you like.
Absolutely. At least in respect to this kind of music.
Yes.
I like vocally driven music when it's right, but not usually in metal. With cleans.
Yeah, this is a very clean song record.
Yes, it is.
And they used a lot of electronica. They used a lot of shit in this album. And I like it. Once again, I got to cherry pick. I'm to that point where I got to cherry pick. But I cherry pick a lot less than I did on the order of things.
The one thing that stuck out to me most about this album, you're gonna laugh at this, is that it was produced by the same guy that did My Chemical Romance's 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge.
Really?
And therefore it immediately has that credit with me. He also did 3 Days Grace and
1X or
a couple of them.
Okay.
And then what was it? All American Rejects, I think.
Wow, all these bands that I listened to all at the exact same time in my life.
Yep, the guy that did Madness did all those too.
Wow, I did not know that, and that's
I did my homework.
interesting.
Try to figure out. It's one thing for him to say, I wanted a vocally driven album. It's another to look and see, like, all right, well, what else was going on, while you, who produced it, who was helping you see this vision through. Howard Benson. That's his name.
Okay.
He's almost won Grammys. Let's see.
I really like, okay, so.
All American Rejects, Hoobastank, Flyleaf, Daughtry, Kelly
Wow.
Clarkson, Seether, Theory of a Dead Man, 3 Days Grace, Skillet, Santana. He's done some work.
Wow.
And then, like I said, My Chemical Romance album.
Once again, all.
Sepultura.
What the fuck? Sepultura?
Major turning point in his career.
Probably post Cavalera.
98.
Oh, yeah, that might still be. I don't know when Max Cavalera left.
POD's Fundamental Elements of Southtown.
This is, once again, all these are bands that I like.
Yeah, he's done some good work. And unfortunately, from the looks of it, this All That Remains album is not on the list of good ones.
Ooh.
It's all right. It's not the worst album I've ever heard.
No, it's not, and it was interesting. Like, there are songs that I absolutely love on this album.
I'm not going to bring it up to my true cult friends, like when we're talking about albums that we like, I'm not going to bring up
the true cult metal.
Yeah, true metal cult. I'm not going to bring up All That Remains.
There are songs like I said, I get attached to the feely stuff. So like there's songs like If I'm Honest, Far From Home, Never Sorry.
Those all sound like tearjerkers.
Far From Home is, if I'm honest, it's cool. It's more about Phil Labonte being really outspoken, and he's like, I don't care what you put in the headlines.
Typical.
He's like, I'm just gonna say whatever the fuck I'm gonna say, and you can deal with it. There's a song called Halo. I love that fucking song.
Okay, I remember. Maybe I looked at that one.
Halo was a good song. That's about anti-religion, I guess. That's what I got from it. Louder, that was a good one.
Not as good as the Dr. P version, I'll tell you that much.
Open Grave, that was one of the more All That Remains-y type songs that I heard on the album.
And we're referring to all the
All That Remains that we like.
If we use Fall of Ideals as the pivot point, that's what we mean.
That is the standard.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to sound like. Anything else is a deviation from the formula.
And then they, of course, just had to put a cover in there. I think this is the first time they've ever put a cover on one of their albums. And of all things to cover, they cover Garth Brooks' The Thunder Rolls, and they didn't even make it like metal. Like, it is just a straightforward cover of the song. I mean, there's some screams in the background. There's like more soloing,
A little
light soloing. Yeah.
Diet Soul.
Diet Solo Zero.
Yeah.
I mean, I was pretty stoked to see that they were going to cover that because I like Garth Brooks from back in my childhood. I like, and the Thunder Rolls was the first song I ever heard by him.
But when Five Finger Death Punch is able to cover songs better than you, then
in all fairness, this is the first time they've covered a song.
they've covered more songs than their damn.
Have they?
Whether or not they put it on CDs.
True.
They've covered songs before. That's the best they can come up with.
Oh, then you got Five Finger Death Punch covering a song, a fucking album
every single time.
I think the only album of theirs that doesn't have a cover is actually no, they got two. Way of the Fist and then American Capitalist. Way of the Fist, they had a cover on the EP that came before it. And it was it wasn't Midlife Crisis, that's Disturbed. You Came Out of Nowhere.
Wow, of course Disturbed has an album called Midlife Crisis.
No, they don't have an album called Midlife Crisis.
It's just a song.
They covered Faith No More.
Oh.
And Five Finger Death Punch covered Faith No More with You Came From Out of Nowhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. Why are these bands covering Faith No More as if they were an influence on them?
Well, Disturbed, definitely influenced by Faith No More.
Yeah, later.
I mean, fucking Faith No More, they influenced a lot of bands. I mean, you got they're probably
No, they definitely did.
They're probably the reason nu metal exists.
Wow.
Like, I mean, because they had rapping.
That's true.
They had rapping. They had, nu metal was influenced by a lot of things. I mean, you had Faith No More, Mr. Bungle, and all that, and then which is also
Mike Patton.
Mike Patton. You're right.
Are we blaming Mike Patton for nu metal?
Oh man, we could. We could
Sorry,
easily
Mike.
could.
We didn't mean to.
If Dan Favors listens to this, he's gonna be like, "Fuck you guys," because he has a giant throbbing hard on for Mike Patton.
It's hard to blame him.
It is. Mike Patton's a super talented dude. I remember. Okay, so I met Dan in college. We both went to Ivy Tech together, and we had a public speech class together, and that's where I met him. And he did an entire presentation on Mike Patton.
Of course.
Where I learned so much about Mike Patton. I learned that he did the voice. Have you ever seen I Am Legend?
Yes.
He did the voices for the people, the zombie people. The infected people.
Yeah, I didn't know.
He did like all the howls and stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy. And he's done like a ton of video game voiceover work, shit like that. I'm like, wow, this is. Wow. If I remember right, Dan titled his presentation "Mike Patton, the busiest man in music."
Definitely.
And I having known all that, like, I could agree. But no, nu metal. It was influenced by Pantera with all the groove stuff. I mean, most of today's music was influenced by Pantera with like the breakdowns and the fucking scooped mids and the guitars and shit like that.
Maybe that needs to be our next in-depth analysis. Pantera
and its influence on modern metal.
There we go.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I've not listened to nearly enough Pantera.
I have, but I could probably go deeper. I could probably actually listen to every album rather than just cherry pick hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I recommend it. I mean, it's always cool to look at something that's been very influential that you just haven't looked at. Like, I got into Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
And look, like, I can see it in other music now. I can feel it in my bones how much I love it.
Oh yeah, you can just tell that they are the ones.
And you're just sitting there like all these years, like, that you knew about them, but you never really got it.
And then it hits.
And then it hits you, and you're like, oh my god.
And once you love Iron Maiden, there's no going back.
No, not at all. Not at all. Is there anything else in metal we could talk about today?
I don't know. I think we covered a lot of ground.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if that's really all you got, it's really all I got. I mean, we could talk about metal for days and days and days, and we can talk about the Doom Room, we could talk about the Lafayette music scene, and all kinds of shit, but we could always save that for another episode.
We could. Maybe we should.
Maybe we should.
Give this a quick taste.
I'm so glad I took the day off for work today.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, I went and saw A Day to Remember last night, and I knew I was just gonna be ruined for the day. So we got like almost barricade for that.
Nice.
And so great. I mean, and it was such a redemption from seeing them last year. I saw them with Blink 182 last year, and Klipsch Music Center and Noblesville really dropped the ball in the sound department.
Really?
Because so for big shows like that, they'll, at least in the pavilion and all that, rather than a festival where you have the side stages. So you got the main stage. Normally, the opening, there's usually about 4 bands, typically, for a concert like that. For usually the opening 2 bands, it's just whatever. They play it. They don't really. Usually by the first headliner, or the opener for the headliner, that's when they start cranking it and pushing it out into the lawn, and you can really feel it. And then the headliner, that's when they just go all out. Well, so it was All American Rejects, A Day to Remember. There may have been another band too, I can't remember, but A Day to Remember, and then Blink 182. And at no point in the show I was out on the lawn, and at no point in the show, even during Blink 182, did I feel it. I couldn't feel that bass hitting me. I couldn't feel like that music hitting my ears. It all fell flat out on the lawn, and I was very disappointed. Day to Remember had like a condensed set because they were opening, so yeah, it was a really disappointing show. I mean, and for it being my first time seeing or Blink 182, and it not being like the actual Blink 182, it had Matt Skiba rather than Tom DeLonge, which is okay. I mean, I've never been a giant Blink 182 fan to begin with. Yeah. So it wasn't that big. I was there to see A Day to Remember, and for that set to fall completely flat on me, it bummed me out.
That sucks.
It bummed me out. So last night was a huge redemption because it was just a sold-out show at the Egyptian Room in Indy, and somehow, like the group I was with, we managed to just push forward almost to the barricade. And not only that, but like, so normally no matter where you're at, there's always that one tall. We're men of average height, maybe slightly below average. I don't know. It sucks. Everybody else are just gargantuan, and
not we,
not us. But so there's always like that 1 or 2 people that they might be right directly in front of you. They might be 5 people in front of you, but either way, their giant fucking head is blocking your fucking view. And I lucked out last night. While we got up to the barricade, kind of stage right. So I guess the left side of the stage for us. And where I was at, it was just nothing but like really short chicks.
Perfect.
And I could see over all of them, and I could see the stage ever so perfectly.
Great.
And I got to enjoy the show because, once again, it was a bunch of chicks, and more times than not at concerts, they don't get too rowdy. And I'm not much of a mosh pitter. I'm not a moshing warrior.
No.
At big shows, I am here at the Doom Room because I know the people. I know what they're gonna do. I know what they're capable of.
It's hard to expect.
I don't know if there's gonna be some asshole at a big show like that just throwing punches because that's what they think moshing is. But so like I get to actually sit there, which is the first time in a long time I've actually been able to sit and like rock out and enjoy a concert without fear of somebody like ramming into me from a mosh pit or a mosh pit forming around me. And not that I don't condone that. Like, have fun.
But you want to have your own space.
Yeah, like I want to have my own space, and like you can't ask for that.
Nope.
Because you're at a concert. It's what you're getting into, and it's whatever. But for it to just happen like that,
Lucky.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. Like I've seen Parkway Drive 3 times now. Have I gotten that experience with them? No. That entire room is just electrified with energy, and everybody is the people that have been chilling, not even moshing, they are moving around at this point. Right. And like that literally the entire room of a Parkway Drive show is just movement.
That's so
And, you know,
awesome.
the people that don't normally do that, even they're doing it and they're enjoying it. I am not one of those people, and I am enjoying it. And, like, so, like, I wish I could get that experience at a Parkway Drive show where I can just stand there and headbang as hard as I want. Just, like, maybe, like, a 3-foot radius around me with nobody messing with me. I can just scream to my heart's content. But, you know, I got it with a day to remember, and that was fun. And
Nice.
I enjoyed it. I got plenty of pictures. I got plenty of video. Your sister was there.
Yes, she was.
I did not see her, but I know she was there. We exchanged words on the Facebooks.
Yeah, she's
a lot
a
of
big fan.
a lot of bros and bras and bras. Bruh.
Whoa. I talk about bras with my sister. Yeah, it's her favorite band, I think.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's who she considers her favorite band.
I'm glad she could go there. I'm glad I could go there. I have known about this concert for a while. I waited, of course, till last second to get my ticket.
You're lucky then.
They were like $30, and then I was trying to get my ticket last Friday because the presenter of the show, Dahlia, I think it was Dahlia, put
Was
it on. RJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, he put it on, and he said tickets were selling out fast. I'm like, oh shit, I better get on that. So I'm at work. I have my Live Nation app up, and it's not working. Not working at all. It says cannot find connection. I get home on Wi-Fi. It will not work. So I was like, okay, and I was in a hurry, so I was in a hurry to go out, hang out with my mom and stuff, and so I was like, okay, I'll just get it in the morning. So I actually got on my computer in the morning, sold out, and I was like, well, I already requested the next day off today.
Right.
I gotta go. So I threw down $100 on a StubHub.
Oh.
Yeah, for general admission.
No.
Whatever, it was worth it. I had a blast. I had an absolute blast.
Ow.
I know. Like I said, it was such a good time. It was so worth it.
I really liked A Day to Remember.
Oh, yeah.
I went and saw him a couple times. Went and saw him in Chicago once, and then we were trying to make it home without navigation. We ended up going across the top of Indiana into Ohio.
Oh, no shit.
Spencer and I, before we figured out what the hell we were doing. And Shane McFly. So then we got to Ohio and we're like, holy shit, we have gone the wrong way. We're like, did we come back into Illinois? We're like, no, I said Ohio. We drove across the state.
Nick, that's 2 hours away.
It was a mess.
That's because so I really want to go to Sweetwater again, which is in Fort Wayne. So I was
in Fort Wayne?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not talking about the brewery.
No. I'm talking about the fucking music place.
Sweetwater.
So I was thinking last weekend when I was up in Hammond with Nate and all them, I was thinking, oh, I wonder how far Fort Wayne is from there. So I just Google mapped from Hammond to Sweetwater. 2 hours, and that's within Indiana.
Yeah.
So you went from Illinois to Ohio.
It was dumb. It was
Oh,
really
man.
dumb. It was fun.
Yeah.
I think I was driving too.
Oh, so this is completely your fault.
No, it's a team effort.
Okay. Teamwork makes the dream work. I get it.
Navigation is a team effort.
It is. Well, all right. Well, if we got nothing else to say.
Yeah, we beat it into the ground.
We did. It's been a good episode. I've had a lot of those recently.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of those.
This is number
This would be 3.
3.
This is 3.
Technically number 4.
Technically
you already
4.
shot number 4.
Yes. But this is 3. We were talking about it. We're like, why don't we just make that 3? And I was like, because it literally in the episode we say this is episode 4 and we're time traveling.
There we go.
Spoiler alert, that gets said. But yeah, like you're going over the timeline, aren't you?
I'm confused already.
Oh man, my audience is they're. Hopefully, you guys can get it. I have faith in you. I have faith that you're intelligent beings. I would hope so. We're sucking it out of you right now.
I feel like my brain's been sucked. Just thinking about it.
But all right, is there anything you'd like to add or plug?
No, just if you like metal, which if you're listening to this, you probably do. If you lasted this long,
Yeah.
you should go like the Doom Room, because we do a lot of shows in Lafayette, and we do a lot of cool stuff with metal that doesn't have to do with shows, with our CDs and DVDs and YouTube stuff. So, yeah, go to the Facebook, go to the Doom Room, like it, live it, love it.
Come out to a show.
Anytime, all the time. We got like 10 shows coming up of all genres.
You really can't beat this.
Whatever flavor you like, we got it.
Oh yeah, you can't beat the Doom Room. I love the energy here. I love the atmosphere and the family. It's a family, through and through. With the core, at least with the core group, and then the people that come in.
Oh yeah,
like, we always have a good time here. We always have a good time here. Sometimes Nick ends up passed out on the floor for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're entering a new age of Doom Room where Nick's not gonna be as wasted as much. Hopefully.
You've said that for a couple years now.
I have been saying it.
I don't know how many times I've woken up and they're like, yep, I'm going to go easy on drinking for a while. And then literally the next weekend, you're just like, ah!
When I say a while,
crowd surf!
I mean 5 to 6 days.
Kitchen crowd surfing. That's a thing.
It is. It's happened more than once. Go to the Journey into Comics Patreon page and you can find exclusive photos and video of me crowd surfing in a dinosaur suit.
Nate's gonna have to be like taking notes throughout this entire.
Just like,
God damn it! I'm gonna have to put this on Patreon.
Yep. Fill it up with content.
But as always, this is Dick. Please check us out on the Podcastrophe Facebook page. There's 2 of them, but I have the most likes, so the other page can fuck off. They haven't done anything.
Fuck them.
So the Podcastrophe page with my face all over it would be this one. Check us out on Journey into Comics. We have a Patreon at Patreon/Journey into Comics. I think that's the right. It might be Journey into Comics Network. I don't know. There'll be links.
Just type those words.
Just type in shit. You'll get it. You can check out the other podcasts such as Journey into Comics, Journey into Wrestling, Butt Stuff. Foodies Watching Movies, The Poor Report, and of course there's always Brandon Stone and Mike Norris's Game Addicts podcast on a separate feed, but they're still part of the family and we love them both. But yeah, this has been a really great podcast. Thank you, Nick, so much.
Thank you, Dick.
Of course you're welcome. But yeah, so this will be it. Make every day a big dick day.
Woke up this morning with my dick in my hand. Girlie's to the right of me, just like I planned. It's gonna be a big dick day. 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 Big dick day. It's gonna be a big dick day. It's gonna be a big dick day.